Hi everyone. In this video I wanted to give you guys a quick testimonial on my experience on using the website Dashub. This is a 4-month review. I purchased this vehicle back in October. It's now February. It took about a month to deliver it here into the West Coast. I'm in California and it was coming all the way from the East Coast. So I'm gonna give you guys a brief, honest testimonial of what I think about this website. Dashub is a licensed and bonded dealer, kind of like a broker, that allows you to bid on clean title and salvage title vehicles through their auction system. What does that mean? That they're a bonded dealer? Basically, instead of having to go register through websites like Copart or IAAI, which are huge auction houses, you can just basically register through Dashub, and the fees come out depending on which website you're on. They're pretty reasonable, and you don't have to create like a profile through Copart. So instead, you just do it all through Dashub. This website is pulling all the information from those auction houses and allowing you to bid on different vehicles. So here's some of their inventory, just a random one I clicked on. The way it works is you have bidding power. That means that you have to deposit 10% of what you're basically going to spend. So for example, if the vehicle you're going to purchase is roughly gonna cost around $8,000 as a finishing auction bid, then you'd have to have at least $800 already in the account, deposited in the account, to be able to bid. And once you win the vehicle, you use that deposit towards the fees, and then on top of that, there's going to be additional fees. So I'll show you guys the breakdown of how much it cost me. So I have 4 main things I want to talk about. First one being the customer service on their website. Number 2, fees. 3, transportation, just because it was a big deal for me since it was coming all the way from Missouri. And number 4 is fixing the vehicle. So number 1, customer service. The way it kind of started was I just called them to get information about how it all works, and they explained to me about the fees that you have to put in, that bidding power, and after I agreed to all that, they took my debit card and they took out 10% of what I was going to expect my car basically to go for, the amount that it was going to go for. And I was then assigned a sales representative. He was really cool. He was very helpful. He would text me, email me, call me, whatever was most preferred. I preferred text, and he basically had all the information I wanted for the specific vehicle, year, model, make, color. You can go down to, interior things that you want, everything. So he basically sent me an email list every about week of the vehicles available on auction, and also texted me the ones that would be going, and of course that were in my price range. So it was kind of all quick because I actually found the vehicle about 30 minutes before the auction ended, and then I called him and he said, okay, we can bid on it because you basically bid through him. He sets up the bid, and I checked it out. I liked the vehicle. It had some front end damage, a little bit on the radiator support, and some frame damage, but not too bad. And so it looked good to me. I also recommend going on Copart and trying to find the exact vehicle, because it's just pulling that information to their website. And on Copart, it actually includes the VIN number as well, so you can check. There's a free VIN check website where you can see past history about the vehicle, which is really important. And so I did all. It's just important to do research, what you're getting, what your price range is. I definitely recommend doing the research before getting any vehicle. And so then he ended up bidding on it, and we won the vehicle, but it was a reserved price. So basically, the buyer, me, I have to wait and see what the seller will accept. So it went for 14,500, and my highest bid or amount that I wanted to spend was 16. The weird thing that happened was, which is kind of iffy to me, because I don't really know for sure if Dashub took the money or if they actually gave it to the seller. So they basically came back about 30 minutes later and said, "Oh yeah, you won the vehicle for 16." So that's an additional 1,500 that they said was what the seller accepted. But truly, I don't know if it was for sure a reserve price or if Dashub just took that money. So that I was kind of upset about that, because they just right away gave them the 16 amount instead of going up in smaller increments. And anyways, I was happy I won, and so now we just had to give there a bunch of information like my license, my ID, the payment amount. And at one point I was just really nervous because I started to look up reviews on the website, and I had thought I might be getting scammed, because on the Better Business Bureau BBB website, they are not reviewed. They do not have very good feedback. And so I started getting super nervous. I talked to friends about what they think, if it's a good idea, because I had basically 2 or 3 days to pay for it. Eventually, trusted my gut and I paid for it. And so after that, it was just kind of waiting on finding transportation. This was in Sikeston, Missouri, and apparently it's a really small town where a lot of semi-trucks delivery guys don't drive through. So it took 1 month for them to find somebody to pick up my vehicle. Cost about $1,000 to get it over from the East Coast to West Coast. It was run and drive verified, meaning that it could drive on its own without any assistance by a trailer. Doesn't have to be pulled or towed. It's making a super loud noise. It sounds horrible, but we were able to get it into the garage, and that's what was the main thing. And if you wanted to estimate the exact amount that you'd have to pay in the end after winning the vehicle, I would say it's about 20% of whatever the winning auction bid ended up being. So 20%. And then also you can You would definitely save on shipping if you got it from the same state. I was just having a hard time finding the exact vehicle I wanted within the states here or even a few states away. So that's the reason for why I ended up going with a vehicle so far away. After I received the vehicle, there was the fees through DMV, additional $1,500, since it was out of state, basically to re um, register it to get it back to its title. It was additional $1,500. So expect that, and then you have to consider the costs for parts and labor. Um, if you have someone you know or someone local in the area, that's what I would recommend, because if you go to big name shops, it's just gonna cost you so much more. Um, Over here in Sacramento, we have a street with a bunch of little shops where they charge, um, not as much as the big guys. So I was able to save money that way. I also found all the parts myself, most of them, and dealt with recycle yards. There's a website called Car Parts, car-parts.com, where you can pick up a bunch of parts on there from recycle yards all over the US. And I needed airbags, so as long as you get airbags that are new with the VIN number, you should be okay for CHP. All in all, after months, probably about 6 months of searching, winning, and then fixing the vehicle, it was definitely worth it, although it was a huge, I'd say, investment and headache in a way, but it was still worth it in the end because I saved roughly about $15,000 compared to buying a new vehicle at a dealership. I hope this in-depth review of Dashub was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer. And thanks for watching.